Can open a board meeting. Reading of the meeting notice, please.
The Board of Directors of the School District of the City of Erie, PA will meet in regular session on Wednesday, October 16th, 2019, in the auditorium at East Middle School, 1001 Atkins Street, at 6 o'clock p.m. by request of the President, Frank Petrunger, Jr.
Thank you. Roll call.
Mrs. McNair? Here. Mr. Spable?
Here.
Mr. Titus?
Here.
Mrs. Alexandrovich? Here. Mr. Costello?
Here.
Mr. Fabrizi?
Here.
Mrs. Feeney?
Here.
Mr. Harkins?
Here.
Mr. Petrunger?
Here. Pledge of Allegiance led by Mariah L. Amara, fifth grade student, Deal Elementary School, introduced by Mr. Timothy Sable, principal, followed by a moment of silence for Milena Emmerich, food service manager, Erie Veteran Stadium Commission manager, passed away on September 16, 2019. Mary Lewis Annunziata, retired teacher who passed away on September 20th, 2019. Walter Chevalier, retired teacher, passed away on September 24, 2019. And Gloria Sinnott, former teacher, passed away on October 8, 2019. Mr. Sable.
Thank you, Mr. Petrunger. Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Polito, Mrs. Sabursky, board members, family, friends, teachers. Welcome. I'm here tonight to introduce to you Maria Alamari. Now, here at Deal, we do a little bit something different to pick our pledge leader. What we do is we ask our fifth graders to write an essay, a persuasive essay, as to why they should be chosen as the pledge leader. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about Maria, but then I'm also going to read her essay to you. Maria is a fifth grader at Deal Elementary School. She is here with her dad, McDad, and Gafran, mom, Alamari, her brother and two sisters, Ali, Rayaheen, and Zara. Maria enjoys learning and our Soaring Eagle program at Deal School. She enjoys language arts, music, she's a piano player, and she enjoys building and designing, maybe a future engineer. In fact, her hope is to become an architect one day. Why should Maria be our pledge leader? Dear Mr. Sable, I think I should be chosen to be the top student of the school because I got a Soaring Eagle Award from you, and I've got 7 awards from Deal School, and I'm safe, respectful, and responsible. If you can't trust me, tell the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade teachers about me and all of the specials teachers, and they'll tell you that I'm not shy to speak out in front of people. I would feel proud to be nominated by Deal Elementary School if you choose me. Thank you, Mr. Sable. Maria Alamari.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And you keep on being a pretty out, okay? All right.
Thank you so much.
Good job, Maria. I like the shoes, huh? You like the shoes.
Introduction of our student representative. Jake Gerline is a senior at Collegiate Academy and is president of Collegiate Academy's Student Senate. He has served consecutively on the Senate for 4 years. His parents are Jack Gerline, a letter carrier, and Luann Gredzorski, a cook at Pleasant Ridge Manor Retirement Home. Prior to Collegiate, Jake attended Lincoln Elementary and Joanna Connell School. In addition to Student Senate, Jake serves as an editor-in-chief for his school's newspaper, The Pride, participates in the Model United Nations, mock trial, scouts, and gifted students clubs, and film club. Over the summer, he traveled with a group of 30 other students to Bad Reichenhall, Germany, for 3 weeks to further his studies of language and culture. Jake would like to double major in journalism and political science. Welcome, Jake. Is there anything you'd like to say?
I'd just like to say how grateful I am for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This month, the board is pleased to honor Pete West, owner of Ricardo's Restaurant, and his business partner, Kathy Mirsky, as our community supporters for their dedication to the students and community of Erie's public schools. Over the years, Ricardo's has opened its doors to host an annual luncheon recognizing students who have excelled in the classroom and have also held monthly luncheons for groups of our hardworking students. In addition, Ricardo's has donated funding for coats and hats for our students in need. The restaurant has also donated food to our athletic teams in previous years. On behalf of our students and families, the board would like to extend our thanks to Pete and Kathy and the staff at Ricardo's Restaurant, and would like to invite Pete up to the stage to accept his recognition.
Mr. President, as Pete's walking up, I just want to say that this has been going on for years and years and years, that he's been doing that for the kids at Edison.
I'd like to call Mr. Eubank up to the podium there in recognition of Audrey Steinbrink.
Just stay here. Okay. Audrey, come on over here. You can come over here. Good evening, Mr. Bertrunger, School Board President, Mr. Polito, our Superintendent, and the rest of the committee. Good evening. Standing beside me, I have a student from Erie High Royal Cross Country Team. Her name is Audrey Steinbrink, and I have a little story to share about this young lady. She also has here this evening, I met her grandmother, Fran, her parents, Scott and Heather, and her sister, Amelia. So here's my story about this young lady. About a month ago, I was at a cross-country meet over at Brown's Farm. While attending this cross-country meet, this young runner from Erie High Royals was running. And during this race, we noticed as spectators, there was a competitor who fell and collapsed. As all the rest of the runners were running, this young lady stopped and offered assistance as everybody kept running. I thought that was courageous because she stopped her own self from the race. But once other people got there to help out that runner, Audrey was able to get back into the race and finish strong, and the rest of the Royal High team. It was one of those moments that it showed to me what compassion and thoughtfulness that this young person has.
and especially in the midst of competition. And so I'm sure that her parents, her grandparent, is very proud, as well as the Erie Public Schools. And so it is my honor to be able to present the very first Service Above Self Award to Audrey Steinbrink.
Congratulations. Always keep that heart, okay? All right.
Director now. I'd like to recognition of Erie High School students who spent 2 weeks on board the U.S. Brig Niagara this past summer, introduced by Mr. Clive Tattersall. Come on up.
Good evening, school board members, Superintendent Polito, Assistant Superintendent Habursky, students, and their parents and grandparents here tonight also. My name is Clive Tattersall, teacher at Erie High School, along with Captain Eisenberg and the Bayfront Maritime staff, Captain Casson, and the many crew over at the U.S. Brig Niagara. We would like to take a few minutes tonight to especially recognize the 8 Erie High School students who, at different times during the summer, spent a 2-week sail training voyage experience on board the U.S. Brig Niagara this past summer. I'd like to call upon Captain Casson to give us a little flavor and background to this experience, and I'm sure the students will add to that, and followed by each student who will introduce themselves and give us a short quote of his or her experience this past summer on the U.S. Brig Niagara as they cruised and sailed the Great Lakes. There are 2 students who could not be present here this evening, Quinton Clark and Jamari Pope. Captain Casson.
Thank you, good evening. I'm very happy here to be able to recognize these students who sailed on Niagara with us this summer. Their journey started with us this spring when Erie Insurance put together a scholarship for 20 students from Erie County to sail on the Brig Niagara this summer on 2-week programs. These students who we are recognizing tonight applied for those scholarships. They wrote essays, and they were either accepted by Erie Insurance or they received scholarships through the flagship Niagara League to sail on the ship. This summer, Niagara sailed over 4,200 miles. She visited all 5 Great Lakes, went to 8 festivals, and had over 80,000 people throughout the Great Lakes come on board. And for every voyage that we went on this summer, there was an Erie High School student who was a part of it. And for those 2 weeks, they are fully immersed as part of the crew. They do everything the crew have to do to operate the ship. And being on board Niagara for those 2 weeks, they were very necessary to operate the ship because we sail with a very small professional crew and can't do it without them. And they quickly realized that when they're hauling on the lines, they're going aloft, handling sail, they're steering the ship, they're cleaning the heads, they're doing the dishes, they're doing all those various aspects of operating a ship that are necessary to keep that community going. And they also shared Erie and their experience with those visitors that came on board the ship. So I recognize them, and I would ask them to come up and share their name and share part of their experience.
Hello, my name is Emma. I was actually an apprentice this summer on the Niagara, so I got to sail with them for 9 weeks. My best memory was when the first time I went aloft and it was dark, really windy, and it was pouring, and we had to go fix one of the sails. I went up there and I did it, but I was really scared. And the person next to me, who was the other professional crew, she actually got seasick on part of it, so she had to head down earlier than I did. So.
Awesome.
Good evening. Wow. Good evening, school board members. My name is Rayshawn Jones, and I am in 10th grade. I remember taking my first step on the U.S. Brig Niagara in 8th grade, and I thought to myself, this seems fun. I want to do this again. And luckily enough for me, I was able to turn in my essay, and I was selected to go on this cruise. I did work for 2 weeks, but that was fun. I learned a lot from that. I learned how to set sails, coil lines, and before that 2 weeks ended, that whole crew ended up feeling like another family to me. And I want to thank the captain of the U.S. Brig Niagara for giving me that chance and that feeling of happiness.
Thank you.
Good evening, school board meeting. My name is Madeline Skinner. I'm a 10th grader at Erie High School. My favorite part of the trip was sailing on the U.S. Brig Niagara and exploring the new locations we docked at. My least favorite part of the trip was getting seasick. It was a fun experience that I'll never forget.
Good evening, school board members. My name is Alexander Skrabach. I'm 15 years old. I'm a sophomore at Erie High School. I'm in 10th grade. So we all took an essay to get on the Niagara, and it was definitely worth it. It actually, I think it changed my life forever because I took a lot with it. I took a lot of it with me. It definitely changed me because it helped me to be able to get my things better together, and. I think my favorite part of this trip was the sleep. I'm not gonna lie, but because it was a lot of work. It was really tough, and when I got home, it seemed like I was not doing anything because I got so used to doing so much work. And I want to thank Captain Kusan for allowing me to stay on for another 3 weeks after the first program, and that was until I got from Duluth, Minnesota, back to Erie, PA, and. So we headed all the way back, and that's when I was home. So I want to thank him for that.
Good evening. My name's Preston. I'm in 11th grade. My favorite part was meeting new people and having a second family. My least favorite was getting seasick. And I want to thank Captain Chris Cuisan for letting me join the crew on the ship.
Good evening, Erie school board members. I'm Brandon Newton, grade 11th from Erie High. And as my colleagues were saying, I would like to thank Captain Kusan and the crew for giving me the chance to actually learn, to give me that chance to learn what it means to be a part of a crew, to help. And it wouldn't be possible without Captain Chris, the Erie Insurance, and the BMC Center to make it possible for me to go sailing on the U.S. Brig Niagara. So I'd like to give a shout out to Captain Chris, Mr. Tattersall, Mr. Eisenberg, who's in the crowd, and everybody from the Erie Insurance Arena. Thank you.
Someone could have dragged Yeah. Good job. Thank you. Good job. Good for you. Good job. Nice. There you go. Nice. Good for you. Good job. Nice. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
We haven't even got to you yet. It seems like we've been here forever. No, don't forget the stair climber. First, I gotta announce these. I'd like to announce that the board met in executive session on Monday, September 23rd, 2019, in Conference Room 3 at the Dr. James E. Barker Leadership Center, 148 West 21st Street, from 12:08 p.m. to 12:23 p.m. regarding personnel negotiation matters. And on Wednesday, October 9th, 2019, in Conference Room 3 at the Dr. James E. Barker Leadership Center, 148 West 21st Street, from 6:41 p.m. to 7:35 p.m. regarding personnel negotiations and legal and general personnel matters. And this evening, Wednesday, October 16th, 2019, in the library of East Middle School from 5:32 p.m. to 5:57 p.m. regarding legal and personnel matters. We'll move on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Parent conferences will be held district-wide on Thursday, November 21st and Friday, November 22nd. Please look for detailed information coming home from your school soon, and make every opportunity to attend so you can learn more about what's happening in your child's classroom. For the 6th consecutive year, Go College, in partnership with FIA and Erie's Public Schools, will host Senior FAFSA Week from Monday, October 28th through Wednesday, October 30th in both the Erie School District High Schools, several community centers, and the Erie County Public Library. The purpose of FAFSA Week is to help students in their senior year easily and conveniently apply for financial aid during their college search. As part of the initiative, students and their families will have access to translators, IT support, and professional guidance from financial aid experts to help them complete the FAFSA process. There is no cost for students and families to attend any of these events. Please visit our website for a flyer with more detailed information. PBS will air a special program, American Graduate, Getting to Work, that features our Erie Public Schools students. The program takes a look at barriers to employment, career pathways, the process of connecting job seekers to networks, innovative career education models, and more. The hour-long program includes a visit to Signal Tech LED signs in Erie, where Erie High School students have access to on-the-job training and post-graduation employment opportunities. It airs on WQLN on Thursday at 8 p.m. And now I'd like to ask Mr. Nixon to come up to present this month's Stair Climber Awards.
Let's move up front.
Thank you, Mr. Polito. First off, I just wanted to make sure that everyone in the audience, as well as sitting at home watching, understands that this Stair Climber Award was thought of as a pilot. We started 2 years back. We went March, April, and May, and it was successful. The board really appreciated it. The families and the students appreciated it, surveyed the administrators and the teachers. And so this is exciting to know that we did a full year last year, and we're in our second year of this award. So personally, I want to definitely thank all of the school board members, Superintendent Polito, Assistant Superintendent Biaberski, Pam Mikowski, who is our Director of Career and Tech Education, Mr. Mike Biter, who is the teacher of the pre-engineering lab, which they create these awesome plaques that all of the Stair Climber students are going to receive and take home as a memorable. And I definitely want to thank all of the schools, because without the teachers and the administrators and the staff voting and nominating one student from their entire building, this award would not be to the level of it is right now. The other aspect of the Stair Climber Award is supports our strategic plan's Goal 4, which is equity, fairness, and justice, and the work of our positive behavior interventions and support, which is to improve our parent involvement. So I wanted to make sure that we put the right emphasis on the award. And I want to thank all of the parents that came today for the meet and greet. We have 16 out of 16 students, so it's very exciting to have all the parents with us today. So about the Stair Climber Award. The Stair Climber Award is a monthly student recognition award for students that have made improvements in their attendance, in their behavior, their positive behavior, and their classroom performance. So these will be our October Stair Climbers for this month. So without further ado, I'd like to start off with our first stair climber. And before I do that, I want to thank Mrs. Sutton, our principal of Edison, for volunteering her support tonight, helping hand the plaques and give direction to our students. So it's greatly appreciated. So we're going to start off with our older kids and work our way to our elementaries. From the DePaulo Student Success Center, I'm going to bring up 9th grader, on task, good attendance, only tardy 2 times, well-behaved, and ahead on 3 courses. So ladies and gentlemen, Maurice Fortune, Jr. Okay, so we have 15 to 16. But we did have confirmations of all 16, so maybe something took place. Erie High, 11th grader, Jenna Hicks. Jenna Hicks has completely turned her life around. She finished the last school year strong and is now making the most of the dual enrollment program. Jenna is a positive-minded and happy young lady who has been improving since the start of last school year and shows that she knows the right path for her life. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jenna Hicks. So as we have our first stair climber, students, you'll receive your plaque. You'll get a photo at the top. Shake hands with all of our board members and our superintendents. You'll stay for a large group photo, and then we'll break out to individual school photos in the lobby. Next up, from Collegiate Academy, Riley has taken great strides in her confidence and leadership abilities within the ROTC program. She is currently single-handedly planning and organizing a field trip for the ROTC to Gettysburg. Riley Chadwell Orsini. From East Middle School, Devon has shown great improvements in all areas of school since his 6th grade year. Devon has perfect attendance so far, as well as 0 behavior referrals, while he continues to make improvements in his academic classes. Ladies and gentlemen, 7th grader from East Middle School, Devon Jones, Jr. That's right, great to be proud. And we can get a little more excited out there. We can do a little cheering and hooting. It's okay. From Strong Vincent, 8th grader. It isn't easy being a student athlete, but Anissa budgets her time wisely to reach her goals. In addition to being an Honors Academy student, she's the new president of the Strong Vincent student body. With courage, she conquers. Ladies and gentlemen, Anissa Silkovic. It was Shilkovich. So I tried my best. I did, I let Google try to tell me how to say it, but Google Translate. All right. So Wilson Middle School, 7th grader. Aubrey is a pleasure to have in class. She is always on time, prepared, and ready to learn. Her grades were good and improving even more this year. She is a leader and willing to help out her peers when in need. We love seeing her big smile and terrific attitude every day in class. Keep up the great work, Aubrey. Ladies and gentlemen, Aubrey Easterlin. On to our elementary schools. From Grover Cleveland, Riley has shown significant improvements in his maturity, attitude, and conduct. He has been working hard this year to be positive and successful. His potential is endless if he continues on his stair climbing. Ladies and gentlemen, Riley Boutwell. And I've left out, he's fourth grader, and he has a handshake like a grown man. All right, from Joanna, Dad, I'm sure that's your work, right? Great conversation with Dad earlier. Joanna Connell School, first grader. Elijah has shown great strides improving his behavior and grades. He is making the most of school and has really become a great leader in his class. Ladies and gentlemen, Elijah Taylor. From Deal Elementary School, fifth grader. Darian has been focused on safe, respectful, and responsible behaviors as a fifth grader. We couldn't be prouder of his efforts and look forward to his continued success. Ladies and gentlemen, Darian Williams. Darian. I did practice these names, and I did speak with families. I'm sorry. Darian, I apologize. Thanks for correcting me, though. Edison Elementary School, fifth grader. Jamarion's attendance and positive school behaviors set him on track for a year of academic excellence at Edison Elementary. We look forward to celebrating Jamarion's achievements this year and into the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, fifth grader Jamarion Petty. First grader from Harding Elementary. Nico has made a lot of growth in the first 3 weeks. The classroom has learned to focus on his learning and has improved his behavior tremendously in just a few weeks. He loves to share what he has learned with others, especially when he is interested in something. So, ladies and gentlemen, Nico Lindemann. From Jefferson Elementary School, Jazanye has made great strides in his kindergarten class. He is coming to school with a great attitude and doing his absolute best every day. Jazanye Lucas, come on up. This might be our smallest. This is our kindergartner. From Lincoln Elementary School, fifth grader. Whitney is a pleasure to have in class. She is the true sense of a Lincoln Lion leader. She is kind to all, helpful, always positive, and an excellent student leader. Lincoln Lion leaders help their peers, and Whitney does that daily. Ladies and gentlemen, Whitney Williams. From McKinley, fifth grader. Isaiah is new to McKinley. He is very responsible, respectful, and kind. He helps his classmates and teacher. He is a great example of a McKinley Mariner. Ladies and gentlemen, Isaiah Quiones. So again, we mentioned we started a meet and greet at 5:30. And Isaiah shares with me, this is a tremendous story. So he tells me that they're up here, new to the city, coming from Florida, but they've been here for 2 months. But the school district they're from has CQLA and iReady Math and iReady Reading. So I got to talk to him a little bit about than seeing what we're doing now. I told him take it easy on us because this is our first year of implementation. But it was awesome to talk to Isaiah about that. From Perry Elementary School, 5th grader Michael, went right to it. So Michael has made tremendous improvements, rising above more and doing more than any of the other students supporting the work of being at Perry School. It is with great pleasure and pride that we represent and support Michael on his Stair Climber Award. So, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Sintel. From Piper Burley, 3rd grader. Savion has made great improvements in behavior and his classwork. He is trying his best to be focused, respectful, responsible, and safe. He is being kind to all students in his classroom. Ladies and gentlemen, 3rd grader Savion McGee. This gives us all of our October 2019 stair climbers. If we can give them a round of applause, please. We'll do one large group photo, and then after that, we'll all head out. Parents, and you're more than welcome. We'll all head out to the lobby, and we'll do individual school pictures as well. You want to have them all slide in front? Okay. So, yep, all the students slide right in front. Okay, parents, we'll meet in the lobby for our individual school pictures. Thank you.
This is when our audience leaves. Take a motion to approve the superintendent's report.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Cassillo, second by Mr. Spiegel. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing of citizens. Persons desiring to speak for 5 minutes must submit the request in writing to the Secretary's office at least 1 week prior to the board meeting. All others may speak for 3 minutes. We have no 5-minute speakers. Anybody would like to speak for 3 minutes, come on up. Write your name, address on the tablet there.
Good evening. My name is Carrie Ann Ray. I am a mom of 3 boys, one not in school yet, one who attends Grover Cleveland, and one who attends Strong Vincent, where I am an autistic support assistant. I'm currently the treasurer of Strong Vincent's PTSA, and I wanted to keep you in the loop of all the good things that are happening there. Everyone knows that when families are involved, schools can only get better. In our 2 short years at SVMS, our PTSA has been awarded a $500 Cultural Awareness and Family Engagement Grant from the PAPTA, 36 STEM games for a family game night from Bear and National PTA, $1,000 and supplies for a family game night from Thinkin' Fun and National PTSA, $1,000 and supplies for a family tech night from Microsoft and National PTA, $1,000 and supplies including a Chromebook from Google and National PTA for a family internet awareness night, $1,000 and supplies from LifeLock and National PTA for a digital responsibility family night. We are also part of a PTA council where many units gather and share information, and we learn from each other. Just yesterday, we found out that we are part of a countywide $5,000 national PTA grant awarded for internet safety. 2 of our members have actually presented a workshop at the Pennsylvania State Convention about applying for grants because we have been so successful in telling our story. Some of our members have also attended a national PTA convention this past June to receive training, and 2 more members presented at a previous national convention on our family STEM night and technology nights so that other PTAs could learn from our mistakes and our successes. Some of the other things that we have going on is our color race, which is a wellness event that we had over 200 Colonel families attend, including several of our awesome staff with their families. We provided the highest earner and 7 of their friends with a limousine ride around the peninsula. They were able to get lunch at McDonald's, and they even stopped at Sarah's for ice cream. Imagine pulling up to school and imagine a limo pulling up to your school and 7 of your friends getting in. We also had our Super Bowl bingo, which was an adult-only fundraiser with spectacular prizes and lots of fun for all. Both of those events brought in over $10,000. One of the things on our agenda has been improving our water fountains at the school, which looked in distress of an update. We've been installing them systematically instead of installing sports drinks or any sugary sodas for the kids. They can easily just fill up their water bottle. We're doing some each year to stay within our budget so that they get done correctly. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Awesome job. Anybody else like to speak for 3 minutes? Not seeing anybody, we'll move on. Any reports of committees? Oh, someone else coming? Okay. I couldn't see over there, this light.
Praise the Lord. Before I start, I have some papers that I want to give you. Who is Mr. Petrunger? That's you. Who is Mr. Polito? That's you. And who is Tim Watsker?
You can actually give them all to Mr. Lochner and he'll pass them over.
Sure, not a problem. I don't know if you're aware of it, but those are the papers I gave you about Erie East High School as far as a complaint and a lawsuit. My daughter goes to East High, or Erie High, and last year when she started, she was coming home crying and saying that people was harassing her, that the class felt like Love and Hip Hop TV show, the teacher was disrespectful, everything was just going out of place. So I sent the teacher, Ms. Petrick, letters to her classroom, even through my daughter, and even Ms. Natasha Phillips, who's one of the behavior specialists, which was an email. She failed to return those responses back to me. So I took it upon myself to sneak inside the school and to find out what was going on in this classroom, the reason why my daughter was coming home pissed every day, crying every day, and then upset. I'm glad I did that because by me doing this, I was aware of what's going on in the classroom and if I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have known all this that was going on in the classroom. So I snuck into the classroom, and when I snuck in the classroom, the teacher was nowhere to be found. It was about 10, 15 minutes that I sat in the classroom, and she was nowhere to be found. After 15 minutes of sitting in this classroom, she comes out smoking a cigarette in the classroom. A teacher, not a student, a teacher, smoking a cigarette, and she walks up to me, "How long you been in here?" "That's irrelevant. I'm here because my daughter's been expressing feelings that's been going on in this classroom. Items that's being stolen, homework is being stolen, supplies that the school gives to these students are being stolen, and it's terrible." So I told her, I questioned her and said, "Were you smoking a cigarette? Because you can see the smoke in the classroom. It was coming off her breath, and I was intoxicated by it. And on top of that, she didn't answer the question and said, 'Let's go into my office.' So I went into her office, and we just began discussing what's been going on. She clearly sat there and said, I can't believe, she had the nerve to tell me, "I can't believe how these children talk to your daughter in class. How they harass her, makes her cry, makes her do all these things in the classroom." A teacher is telling me this. So another student came up to me and knocked on the door, interrupted the meeting. She also, white girl, she also noted that I was getting on her about how she's letting this classroom carry on like this. So the point that, Jesus. She said there's 3 girls in the hallway while we was discussing it in a meeting. So she comes outside and she goes, "Come on, girls, let's go back into the classroom." She surely didn't show no professionalism about her job when I told her that she clearly should have went out there and said, "Detention, detention, detention," or "Office, office, office." But instead, she persisted this baby voice for her to, "Oh, girls, you're supposed to be in class," and all this. So I said to her, enough is enough.
Thank you. Sir, thank you. We have a 3-minute time limit on the...
Well, nobody else was standing up because you asked them.
We have a continuation of the business meeting. I believe...
I understand, but I have one question for you. Your name is, you the solicitor? Okay, this teacher filed fake charges on me. You found me guilty without me even going to court. You found me guilty. You banned me from the school that my daughter attends. I'm a proud parent. I respect my daughter, and I want to know my daughter's best interest of what she does in school. You banned me from the school without even a court hearing. You found me guilty for no reason. I went to court. They found me not guilty. They found out that she was lying. I will not fight. I'm gonna keep fighting until I get this 3 days OSS off my daughter. There's more to this. I gave y'all the pamphlets that y'all can read if you feel free to, or I see you in court. Because this is an outrage. And you ban me from my school, and then I call you. You can't be professional enough to call me back. But you want me to sit down. Why? Because you don't want me to expose you? I'm still waiting on your phone call. You understand that?
Sir.
And we're going to get to the bottom of this issue. You understand? Because you found me guilty.
Sir.
For no reason. And I don't approve of that. I love my child. You understand that? Order is not in the court yet. It will be.
It's order here, sir. We have 3 minutes.
I don't care how many minutes you have.
Sir.
You're going to start doing your job. Yes, you're going to clearly start doing your job and and like the man said today, I see you coming. Like the parents said, they said the parents need to be involved. I'm one of those parents that's going to stand tall. I'm not scared of any one of you. And you will look onto my case about what's going on because justice was not served and it will be served. I expect to hear a phone call from you about this incident. You understand? And in the future, next time I ask you that you take the time out to talk to people before you just make a decision because you're worried about your agency getting a lawsuit. You understand that? And you too, Mr. Polito, I still didn't get a phone call from you, just like I didn't get a phone call from this teacher. So clearly it's stating that are you really professionals? Or y'all just in it for the money? It is a place for this. And the judge told me to come down here and tell y'all what time it is. And he also told me to go to the courthouse and file charges against you for what you did to me and my daughter. And that the staff that you have down there that clearly doesn't care about these students. They just care about the money. Have a good day. Oh, I need to, my fault. I need to sign. Brian Evans Sr. is my name. You understand that? You amateurs.
Okay. There's no unfinished business. Sir, please. This is still a board hearing, and there's rules to abide by. Sir, I didn't find you guilty about anything. That has nothing. All right, I'm sorry. You have to be quiet. You already had your 3 minutes at the podium. All right, new business.
I move we approve the new business of the school district before us.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Harkins, second by Mr. Spiegel. Any discussion? What are we going till here, John?
Just 6.
6?
We can go back to it.
Mr. Petrunger, we had,
Yeah, I see it.
item number 4.
What's that?
We overlooked item number 4.
Yeah, I
reports
know.
of committees.
We're just discussing that. I apologize. Reports of committees and liaisons.
Mr. President, I just want to talk about the stadium. I'm liaison to the Stadium Commission, and I attended with many others the rededication of the stadium, and I just wanted to compliment everybody that's been involved in both the renovation and the putting together of the actual ceremony and such. It was very nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Spiegel?
Just echoing the same sentiments that Robbie said, that's all.
Okay.
Well done, so thank you. Really, I think a big, shout out to go to Erica. She did a great job with
Absolutely.
organizing that. Certainly, a lot of people were involved, and I know the people that I was
Where is
involved
she?
with were very pleased with the outcome, so thank you, Erica.
I told you the rain was going to hold off, too. I want to also report on, I was actually at the Erie High Collegiate Homecoming Dance, and with as many kids that were there, those kids were most respectful. There wasn't one incident the whole time. It was really a well-put-together event. The kids were very well-behaved, and I was very, very, impressed. So, nobody has anything else?
I would just add that stadium ceremony, Mr. Spiegel looked very impressive in his Army uniform and represented us all very well in the role he played in the ceremony.
Buttering up, or what?
No,
I'm kidding.
he
I'm
was.
kidding. Take a motion to accept the reports. Motion by Mr. Cassillo, second by Mr. Spiegel. All those in favor say aye. Aye. No unfinished business. New business.
New business.
Motion by Mr. Harkins, second by Mr. Spiegel. Any discussion? Roll call, please. That's fine.
Yes.
Mr. Titus?
Yes.
Mrs. Alexandrovich? Mr. Castillo?
Yes.
Mr. Fabrizi?
Yes.
Mrs. Feeney?
Yes.
Mr. Harkins?
Yes.
Mr. Petrunger?
Yes. Hold on. Approval of the minutes for September 11th, 23rd, 2019.
I move that we approve them.
Motion by Ms. Feeney, second by Mr. Speckle. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Bills and payroll.
Moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Castillo, second by Mr. Harkins. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Spiegel?
Yes.
Mr. Titus?
Yes.
Mrs. Alexandrovich? Mr. Castillo?
Yes.
Mr. Fabrizi?
Yes.
Mrs. Feeney?
Yes.
Mr. Harkins?
Yes.
Mr. Petrunger?
Yes. Report of the secretary.
Move we approve it.
Motion by Mr. Harkins, second by Mr. Spiegel. Any discussion? Roll call when you're ready, please.
Mr. Spiegel?
Yes.
Mr. Titus?
Yes.
Mrs. Alexandrovich? Mr. Castillo?
Yes.
Mr. Fabrizi?
Yes.
Mrs. Feeney?
Yes.
Mr. Harkins?
Yes.
Mr. Petrunger?
Yes. No awards on bids. Any other matter?
Mr. President?
Yes.
I had mentioned in the committee of the whole meeting that I really would encourage the school looking at adopting the equity score, the sheet for each school individually, and to continue the conversation about creating a leadership for students at every school too, so that we can have myself, and I know Miss Angela had stated that we would go to the schools and meet with the student body, and so just to make sure that we're keeping those conversations moving forward, and so that we're giving students like this gentleman an opportunity just to prepare for the meetings, to come to the meetings so that they can represent their student body, and I'd be happy to help in any way I can with that as well.
Thank you. Nothing else? I'll take a motion.
Mr. President,
Yes?
I'd like a moment, if I may,
Absolutely.
since it's only 8 o'clock.
You get 3 minutes.
Now we get 10. I just want to say that I'll not be at the next board meeting, which will be my final, which would have been my final. So this is my last meeting. I just want to make a few comments, if I may, prior to departure. First and foremost, I want to thank the administration, the teachers, all of the employees of the Erie School District for the continued support of everything that's been going on, and in it, understanding that 9 of the 12-plus years that I served, we have been in a financial pinch. We are at a point now, thank God, that we're buoyant. I encourage the administration to continue on the vein that we have been. We need to be frugal. We can't spend money that we don't have. I'm speaking as a citizen as well as an outgoing board member. We survived during the worst of times with the absolute bare minimum to be able to permit us to keep our doors open. I'm not advocating that we do that again, and I pray that it never happens again. But keep in mind that if we get $1 million, we can't spend $2 million in anticipation of hopefully getting another $1 million down the road. And as far as Mr. Polito, Brian, you have done a spectacular job. I'm proud to have worked with you, as I had with all the other superintendents. I just would like to request that you understand that we, the City of Erie residents and directors, run the school district. No respect, Mr. Zogsby, but not Mr. Zogsby, not the state. We do. Decisions made in Erie by Erieites will affect what we do. Harrisburg has done a poor job in administering what I felt to be fair and equitable justice to the underfunding that they have displayed for 20 plus years. And the fact that they gave us a few $1 million, the 14 million, does not give them the right to take over and make their suggestions. And that if we don't comply with their suggestions, that we're in default. I need to remind the governor, the Board of Education, that the monies that we were given was not a gift. Those were monies that we were due. In fact, as I'm sure you know, Brian, we were due twice that amount if we would have been up to scale with other districts within the Commonwealth. At least twice. It would have been more than that, but I'll say twice for simplicity. And that when we received that money with all their little hinges, I was against it, to be quite frankly. I would have just as soon said, take your 14 million back and you run the place. And let's see if you could do the job that the administration has done, that we have done as directors, and have put forth every effort that's humanly possible to continue to operate the school district under the terrible situation that we had to endure. However, I'm one vote. And as far as I'm concerned, we have done a spectacular job moving this district forward. My kudos to Mrs. Habersky, who did such a dynamite job as the assistant superintendent in moving us in many different directions, all in a positive manner, from curriculum to moving us with strategic planning. Kudos. And I love you to death, and I always will be. You're terrific. But my parting, I just want to say that I was involved with the district before I became a director. I worked closely with prior superintendents, with the establishment of Collegiate Academy. I'm proud of that, and I'm certainly proud of what we have done there, despite all of the indifferences that the state has put forth, that they did not give us the credit that is far due to us. So with that, I hope the person that occupies this chair is working cohesively with this director, with the directors, and that we'll all move forward together to make this the best damn school district in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I thank you.
Go ahead, Tom.
Bob, just publicly, I'd like to thank you. You know, you're a couple of years older than me. We certainly are a lot wiser than I am, and I appreciate your position of acting kind of as a mentor to me throughout all this. But in particular, you were the board president when we were going through all the financial recovery, essentially. I remember your efforts going down to Harrisburg often and begging and pleading and bitching and moaning. So we needed that. And you were the right person at the right time. We really appreciate it and look forward to staying in touch with you going forward.
Mr. President.
Go ahead.
Mr. Cassillo, I'd just like to thank you for your service. You were on the board and board president when I was hired as CFO about 5 years ago, and I've really enjoyed working with you on all the financial aspects of the district as well as the educational, but especially the financial, and with the Financial Advisory Committee, which you did start for the district and was a big support throughout our whole entire crisis. So again, thank you for your service to the district.
Thank you.
Everybody got you going?
Yes, Bob, thank you. We'll miss you, and we hope we'll see you around.
Oh, yeah. I may still come for 5 minutes.
Well, we'll have Timmy on guard for that, so. All right. Yes, you can. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.